Former Bush advisor Karl Rove has a new column in the Wall Street Journal that recaps the good, the bad, and the ugly of 2025. There are signs that the public is tiring of President Trump's hyperbole and insatiable desire for retribution. Increasingly, they may hear only the offensive or cruel things he says. Has the president convinced himself that he doesn't need to sell his policies and actions? It appears that he believes he can simply will people into agreeing with him by claiming his achievements are the biggest, best, and most amazing in American history.
What's up, everybody? Major retired Richard Ojeda here, and Republican consultant Karl Rove now says Americans are tired of the Trump shtick. He says Trump has gone way too far. He says 2025 has revealed a dangerous theme in this country: exhaustion, distrust, and a political system that feels completely out of control.
He's gone way too far by slapping his name on buildings like the Donald J. Trump and the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts, and government programs, the Navy's Trump-class battleship. He might receive a fawning reaction from his MAGA base, but the average American finds such narcissism off-putting.
And the most important part of what Rove said is this: voters made crystal clear what they wanted from a new administration: lower prices, a better economy, stability. And right now, Donald Trump is doing everything against that.
If you could say anything to President Trump now, what would you say?
I expected better from you. I really did. I expected that you would do what was right and cut waste and fraud and all of those things that you promised us before we elected you in office, but you're not doing that. You're creating a disaster, and I don't know what America is going to look like if this continues.
One of the biggest problems is that the Republican Party is too cowardly to stand up and check Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a person who, pretty much, you can tell, never actually really knew anything about the presidency before he found himself sitting in that chair. And in this particular presidency, in this second term, everything that he ran on, lowering the price of everything, releasing the files, and now that he has gotten in office, he has gone back on every single one of those things.
I was hoping he would did something that made sense regarding the economy, made some kind of progress in bettering, the benefits of being a veteran. But I mean, it just seemed like he actually cared about doing what was best for the country, but now it just feels like all about me, Donald Trump, not, the guy out there working in the trenches, trying to make ends meet, trying to pay your mortgage, trying to pay the bills.
People are waking up, and you can tell it clearly in the voices of people who once believed. Former Trump supporters, including evangelicals, are now saying out loud what they were never supposed to say: that they were lied to, that they were manipulated, that their faith was weaponized for political power.
Mr. Brown, it's my understanding you also voted for President Trump.
Yes, sir.
Why did you vote for him?
Because I was an idiot.
Can you be more specific?
Because the 80% of the evangelical Christian people were lied to, if you really want to know the truth, and that's exactly what happened.
When someone who was part of that movement looks at what's happening and says, I was an idiot, that isn't self-loathing. That's deprogramming. That's a cult breaking. Donald Trump is the emperor with no clothes on, and everyone is blowing up in his face.
I've seen the light, and I got out of MAGA. A lot of us there have seen the light. We have deep regrets.
I feel guilty because I voted for Trump twice. I feel very guilty because I feel responsible. That's why he's still running.
I used to be a MAGA Republican, and now I've turned blue.
Donald Trump ran for office because he did not want to be held accountable. That's why January 6th happened. He was worried he was going to prison, and he stormed the Capitol, and he got away with it, which is horrible that we allowed that to happen. But he ran again for one reason: to get back at people. That's what he's doing right now. This is all about revenge. This is all about him going after people he doesn't like. And let me tell you something. He does not like the American people. If you don't see that for what it is, you're not paying attention, and you absolutely need to wake up. They know telling the truth would destroy not only Donald Trump, it would destroy MAGA, and it would kill their base. That's what this is all about. Power, protection, self-preservation. They would rather protect powerful people than do what is right, because a lot of those people are billionaires, and those billionaires are the reason Republicans are staying in office. They fund everything through super PACs, unlimited money, no accountability. That's the system that they're protecting. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Donald Trump is absolutely unqualified for that position. His entire administration is unqualified for the jobs that they are doing. They have no history whatsoever when it comes to the roles that they're playing. And that's why it's blowing up in their faces. They don't know how to do their jobs. They're just protecting Donald Trump. That's it. Protection. Loyalty over competence. And this is coming to an end. It's coming to an end sooner rather than later. That's why this is important. Everybody needs to continue spreading the word and speaking truth to power. People are starting to wake up. And once again, I think the evangelicals are at one of those moments where you have a choice. You can take path A or path B. 8% of the people sent to the gulag in El Salvador had criminal records. 8%. Everybody else did not. Overstaying your visa is a misdemeanor. These people do not deserve to be sent to gulags where they are tortured. And now we know they were tortured. That's why they tried to keep that video off the air in the United States. Canada got a hold of it. Canada found ways to share it. And now it's been seen over 200 million times. And it is horrible. It is horrible that we would send people, because of the color of their skin, to gulags where they're beaten, starved, denied clean water. They're literally saying the water that they drank is the water that they showered in. These are places people go to and never expect to escape. That alone should be enough for people to wake up and do what is right, because this is absolutely unacceptable. And then there's this: my friends will get hurt. That's what Donald Trump said. My friends will get hurt. That statement tells you everything that you need to know. Donald Trump cares more about protecting his buddies that preyed on children than he does about the survivors. He even said the survivors don't really merit the honor and opportunity to have their voices heard. If you accept that, there is something wrong with you, rotten to the core, poison in your heart. 1,200 children were preyed upon. Donald Trump participated in that world. There is nobody pictured more with Jeffrey Epstein than Donald Trump. He said he never flew to the island. Now we know he flew at least 8 times, because Donald Trump lies. That's what he does. If his mouth is moving, he's lying. Now look at what's happening. They're turning on Marjorie Taylor Greene, one of the biggest MAGA buffoons in this country, because she finally decided to do one thing right and follow through on a campaign promise. They ran on releasing the files. They said it was a Democrat hoax. They said Democrats were the predators. But that's not what the proof is showing now, is it? Democrats want the files released because accountability matters. Even Bill Clinton said it would prove he didn't prey on children. And here's the difference. We don't care what party you're in. If you prey on kids, you're done. You're held accountable. That's it. Trump knows when this ends, he loses his freedom. He will never hold a golf club again. The investigations are coming fast. People will be held accountable, and his family, which made billions, knows it. Foreign policy to Donald Trump isn't diplomacy. It's whether you'll let him build a golf course in your country. If you don't, he hits you with tariffs. And understand this: we pay those tariffs. But when products don't sell because Americans won't buy them, those countries get hurt too. That's his version of leadership. And now we arrive at the truth that ties all of this together. Trumpism isn't collapsing because of Democrats. It's collapsing because it was built on lies, cruelty, and self-protection. And now even its architects and its most die-hard followers are waking up and admitting it. When the people who designed the con and the people who bought into it both see through the charade, the truth cannot be spun any longer. Donald Trump is scrambling. Republicans are scrambling because they know what's coming. They are headed for a brutal reckoning in 2026, and that is an absolute fact. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way.